Hello dear students, welcome to Devika's Commerce and Management Academy. Time value of money over. Are you perfect? Then come to the capital budgeting. Capital budgeting also one of the important aspect in financial management. You know that whether the organization is small or big, multi-millionaire company or whatever it may be, they have to take the decisions. When they have to take the decisions, capital budgeting, this is going to be helpful for every organization and every management. Decisions, investment decisions, generally it will be two types of decisions. One is small term and long term. Small term investments below 1 year, any investment if you do, that doesn't make much difference in the organization. But whereas if you are investing on long term or capital expenditure, like purchasing assets, expanding the business, and doing some renovations, which is large scale. So those type of investments, that makes lot of difference in the organization. Those type of investments, long term investments, or you can say capital expenditure type of things, all these things, whenever you want to take, you need to be much careful. So for this purpose, this capital budgeting is going to be helpful. In capital budgeting, we are going to discuss different methods. Each method will tell you whether we have to accept or not. Say I want to invest say 50 lakh rupees on one project. Whether it is good or not, how much I can expect it, in how many years I am going to get back, and what is the rate of return. Like each and every point about my 50 lakh investment, I'll get details. And I'll get details of 2 to 3 projects, not one project we don't accept easily. Because my investment is huge, 50 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crore or 10 crores I'm investing. When I'm investing, I need to be very careful that what is the return and how many years it is going to take, whether it is profitable or not, and how many alternatives are there, that is also important. Only one we don't take, 2 or 3 are minimum alternatives, minimum. It may be more than that, 4, 5 also we can observe. Minimum 2 to 3 alternatives means options we'll see, and according to that, which option is good, which option is fruitful, and all these things we'll observe, and then we'll put our investment, and then we'll take the decisions. That would be to some extent definitely 90% wise decision only. For all this purpose, what is useful? Capital budgeting methods. Okay, in short, what you can say, what is capital budgeting means? You got an understanding? Okay, in short, what you can say capital budgeting means? Practice of making decisions in capital expenditure. Practice of making decisions related to the capital expenditure. Capital expenditure means nothing but expenditure on fixed assets, expenditure on long term investments, that is capital expenditure. Okay, so practice of making decisions. When you want to take the decisions related to the capital expenditure, related to the long term investment, that is capital budgeting. This capital expenditure decisions, we say it as investment decisions also. There it is going to be useful. Now we will see few concepts. Like first thing is that steps in capital budgeting. Before going to the steps in capital budgeting, I must tell you kinds of capital budgeting decisions. Kinds of capital budgeting decisions. When do we use this capital budgeting? In which areas? When? How it is useful? First thing is that replacements. When you want to replace one asset is there, so which costs around 5 crore or 10 crore, that I wanted to replace it, but because it is not giving the fruitful results, it is not giving the proper outcome, then I wanted to replace it. The cost is more. Or expansion, I wanted to expand the business. For that purpose, I wanted to invest it. Then that is also one of the major decision making, major investment. And also purchasing a big assets, I did not write here. Purchasing the big assets, that is also one of the kind of capital budgeting. And also diversification. Funds I want to diversificate. Diversification means, suppose say as per my requirement of my organization, 10 crores are required. 10 crores are required. So I have accumulated, I have invited all the shareholders and arranged this 10 crore rupees, but right now I am using only 6 crore only. What about the rest of the 4 crore? that is diversification. Diversify it, invest it somewhere, but you have to get some result out of it. So how you can diversify, which area you can diversify, that is also comes under the capital budgeting. And also research and development. You want to do some research, some new methods, new techniques. In the present scenario, you can't follow the old methods. As per the technology, you have to update for research and development, R&D. So for these are all the major areas. You can say it as the kinds of capital budgeting decisions. You will take the capital decisions, budgeting decisions because of all these things. Now coming to the steps in capital budgeting. There are simple steps of following this capital budgeting. First thing is that generating investment proposals. First of all, I wanted to generate the investment proposal. I wanted to invest. Where to invest? How much to invest? Is it required? How much it is required? When it is required? Where I can invest it? So that I have to generate it. Generating investment proposals. First generate it. Proposal. That is the initial stage. If that is there, the next step onwards, what you can do? See the next step. Estimating cash flows for the proposals. Estimating cash flows. I have generated investment is required. How much investment is required? Suppose say for example 1 crore is required. Requirement is 1 crore. But cash flows for that proposal. How much I am going to get? That is cash flows. For that proposal, 1 crore if I am investing means what is the cash flow for that proposal? So that is the estimation, second step. Once if you estimate it, third one is that evaluating the cash flows. Whatever you have estimated, is it correct or not? How it is correct? How far it is true? Shall we make any kind of changes? So that is we say it as evaluating cash flows. Once if you know that evaluation of cash flows, then fourth step comes to selection of project. As I told you, when I wanted to invest something, definitely 2 to 3 alternatives are there. We will see first investment process, how much is required, then also we'll estimate the cash flow, evaluate the cash flow. So these 3 proposals, these 3 processes, it will be for at least 2 to 3 alternatives. Say alternative 1, alternative 2 and alternative 3. For 3 alternatives, I have gone for these 3 steps. Are you getting it? I have gone for these 3 steps. Then after that, selection of project. Which project is good according to these steps? If I feel that second project is good, then I'll select the second project. And third and first one rejected. In capital budgeting, selection or rejection criteria is also important. Why you have selected this second project? Why you have rejected this first and third project? That is also we'll be discussing in the capital budgeting. Am I clear? So that's about the selection of project. Once if you have selected the project, not yet completed process of capital budgeting, last step is that monitoring and reevaluating. Monitoring about this second project. Second project selected, okay, how to implement it, whether it's working or not. Generally, these are all long-term investments. Once if you invest it, the decision is irreversible. Very rarely you can change, you can alter these decisions, but that makes a loss. Are you getting it? That makes a loss for the organization. That is why they have to take the decisions, because long-term heavy investment. Select it properly, and implementation is, we say it as a monitoring and also reevaluating, good or not. In the initial stage, if you find that this is not good, some other project you got it, some other alternative, say fourth alternative or 1 or 3 is good. If you find something is better than this second selection or second criteria, immediately you shift it in the initial stage only. Later stage it is very difficult. Are you getting it? So that is why these are all the steps you have to be very careful in the capital budgeting decisions. And another important concept is this: why do we need this capital budgeting? Why do we need capital budgeting? Capital budgeting is useful in 2 ways. The need of capital budgeting tells you in 2 ways. One is it reduces the cost and also increases the revenue. We select such a project, such an alternative which is going to reduce the cost compared to the other alternatives. And we select such a project, such an alternative which is going to increase the revenue compared to the other alternative, means the best project we are going to choose it. So that is why capital budgeting decision is the best project. How do you say? Which decreases the cost, or you can say which decreases the cost, and another one is that which increases the revenue. Decreasing the cost, increasing the revenue. What else is required? So that's the need of capital budgeting. With this, you got an understanding what is capital budgeting. Anyway, in the coming classes, we are going to work out capital budgeting decisions in detail. But right now, a small understanding what is capital budget that is required. And also, I'll tell you today's class that methods, capital budgeting methods. How many methods are there? Mainly 2 methods are there. Just I'm giving you clarity about this. Each and every method we'll be discussing in the next class. Okay. Capital budgeting methods are mainly 2 types of methods. One is traditional or non-discounting. Traditional or non-discounting. Okay. Traditional methods, these are. Traditional methods are, how many are there? One is payback period method. Second one, accounting rate of return. This accounting rate of return, we say it as average rate of return also. You just remember average rate of return. In short, this we can say it as ARR. Some of you might be remembering RRR. No, ARR. Accounting rate of return or average rate of return. Payback period method, accounting rate of return or average rate of return. These 2 methods are under the traditional methods, or you can say it as a non-discounted. Non-discounted, discounted, we heard it in the time value of money. Non-discounted means simple one. Discounted is always present tables values. As per the present table value, will be calculating discount rate. So these 2 are non-discounted. No need to use the present table. Traditional methods, we have formulas, just we have to implement that formulas. Very easy, nothing to worry, next class will work out. And second method is that these are all traditional non-discounting methods. Traditional methods. Second one is time adjusted, or you can say it as a discounted cash flow. Time adjusted means according to the time we'll select the project, we'll choose the decision, or you can say the discounted cash flow means we'll use the discounted tables also. That is present table values also we can use it. So these you can say it as a modern methods also. Traditional, modern methods. Modern methods are this time adjusted or discounted cash flow. These modern methods or discounted methods are 4 types. One is net present value. Net present value. We say it in short NPV. Calculate NPV. You will find it in the problem. Calculate NPV. NPV is net present value. Second one is internal rate of return. Internal rate of return also in short form we'll say it as IRR. Internal rate of return. Okay. ARR, IRR, RRR. Okay. Internal rate of return. This is also modern method. And next one, profitability index. Profitability index method we say it as in short PI. Profitability index. Okay. Last one is terminal value. In practical we don't use much, but we have this method also. Total 4 methods. Time adjusted or discounted cash flow. What are those methods? First one is NPV, net present value, IRR, internal rate of return, and PI, profitability index. Last one is that terminal value. Got an understanding? Next class we'll focus on these methods. Then after that we'll see these methods. Want to feeling like taking a screenshot? Yes. Examination point of view I can teach you directly, but if you get depth knowledge, It will be useful for your theoretical knowledge also. What is capital budgeting, why we have to use. There are some MBA students, B school students also following our talks, and also there are some lecturers also following. So the best of knowledge I wanted to give you, whatever best. Okay, so please follow it. Don't forget to share these videos. Everything is free of cost for you all. Make utilize of it. Check out the playlist, take out your syllabus, what is matching, then take out that playlist, use it, prepare notes clearly and practice well. Okay, good luck.